All right, so hey, people of God, this is Rashana B back with On My Way Up movement, and I'm back with an awesome word. So I wanted to talk to you who are dealing with financial problems or, just lack or even poverty. Okay, I want you to understand that sometimes, a lot of the times, the way to break that, how the Lord rebukes that, is by your generosity. I know that that's hard to believe. I know it's like, for a long time, I used to feel like, how can I give if I'm already in lack? Like, how can I tithe? How can I help anybody? Anything that I got, I need to keep to myself so I can make it. I used to think like that. But the widow in 1 Kings chapter 17 gives us a clear example in verses 10 through 16 that is the wrong way to look at it. She introduces a whole new mechanism, a whole new way of breaking poverty, lack, and debt out of a person's life. Okay, the Bible says that when she met Elijah, the first thing that Elijah did was start asking her for stuff. He asked her for a glass of water. Then he turned around and told her to make him a cake first. After she told him all she had was a glass of flour and a jar of flour and a jar of oil, that her and her son were going to eat their last meal and die, he turns around and asks her to make him something first. Now, I got to be honest with you. If I had been the widow, I would have missed that blessing. I would have missed that financial breakthrough, because I would have been like, is he crazy? This is all I have. But thank God that she didn't. She stepped out in faith. And she was generous to him. She was generous. She stepped out in faith. He told her that, if she was obedient to his instructions, that she would never run out, and she never did. But the point is, it was her generosity and obedience that broke the poverty, the lack, and the debt, and soon to be bondage from off of her and her son, or even just death. Okay, they were just going to chalk it up and just die of hunger, of starvation. But because of her generosity and obedience, it broke off of her, and the woman flourished and thrived in a time that there was just a dry land, a famine going on. Elijah stayed with her for 3 years. Okay, 1 Kings chapter 18, the first verse tells us that after 3 years, God called him to leave and go back and confront Ahab. So he was there with the widow for 3 years. That jar of oil, that jar of flour never ran out. Okay, and she obviously got out of debt because she lived. Her and her son lived. So that is amazing news. And so God is prompting you to give to the poor. God is prompting you to tithe. God is prompting you to give to somebody, to donate donate old clothes, donate to old canned goods that's just collecting dust. These are things that you can give, that you're not even using, that you obviously have an abundance of, okay, that somebody else will be blessed tremendously by. And not only will it bless them, but it will bless you, because it will break off poverty, lack, and debt in your life. Jesus is clear about how he feels about the poor. The Bible says that when you give to the poor, you're giving to Jesus. When you clothe the naked, when you feed the hungry, you are giving and blessing Jesus. You're feeding Jesus. You're clothing Jesus. How do you not know that? How would you know or not know whether you were feeding a literal angel? Abraham was sitting under a tree, and 3 men walked up to him, and Abraham fed those 3 men. Those 3 men were angels of God. Okay, you never know. You never know, people of God. Just like demons are walking the earth, angels are here too. We forget about that. We see so many terrible things going on. We forget angels are here. You never know when you're blessing one or feeding one. Okay, and it's clear. The Bible is showing us a whole new principle. This is how the Lord rebukes the devourer, by giving generosity. So, people of God, if the Lord is prompting you, he's prompting you to participate in his goodness. He's putting it on your heart to be generous to somebody so he can bless you 100-fold. He's putting it on your heart so that they can be blessed and you can be blessed. And I'm going to tell you something. When you bless somebody, it blesses you. It does something to your heart. It brings joy upon you. Okay, and so not only are you blessing someone, but you're about to be blessed while enjoying it. That, to me, is awesome. Now, that's a 3-fold blessing there. Okay, so people of God, don't be concerned about what you give to a person and what they're going to do with it. Just Obey the prompting of God. It is no longer your place to worry about what they do with whatever God prompted you to give. It is no longer yours. Okay, that God will deal with them for whatever they do with whatever you gave them. Okay, you live by your own convictions and let them live by their convictions. But in the meantime, be obedient. Okay, be obedient to the promptings, especially when it comes to generosity. Okay, the widow showed how much of a generous spirit that she had, how humble she was. Okay, how obedient she was, how much faith she had, just by giving her last to a man that she didn't know. So, people of God, that same man turned around and brought her son back to life a year later. Now, imagine if she had done like I would have done and called the man crazy and said, no, I'm not going to give you my last. I'm going to feed me and my son and go on about our business. That's what I would have said. But guess what? She would have lost her son the following year. He would have died of sickness and would not have been brought back, because she was not obedient and didn't have a generous spirit and didn't have the faith to believe. So, people of God, I hope that this word blessed you. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and tell me what you all think about my content, and I'll be back with another word.